I'm Martin Goldberg. I'm Principal Curator of Medieval Archaeology and History at National Museum Scotland. This is the last of our major reveals from the Galloway Hoard research programme. This is the lidded vessel that has always sat at the very heart of the hoard and contained all of the most unusual and exotic items. So this object has been on a long journey over the last 10 years. This is not what it looked like when it came out of the ground. But what you can see are the preserved remnants of the very fragile archaeological textiles that wrapped this vessel when it went into the ground 1,000 years ago. Our first step in investigating the vessel was to have it 3D scanned so that we could try and see the decorated surface underneath those archaeological textiles. Our job is to both preserve it, but also to do research on it. We wanted to record and identify the textiles, but then the process of cleaning begins in order to reveal what we can of the decorated surface. So the technique that we used was laser cleaning, and this allowed us to remove the green corrosion that was covering a lot of the silver surface of the vessel, but also helped us to preserve the textiles that were adhering to the surface. So we were striking that careful balance between revealing and preservation. What we can now see on the decorated surface has enhanced that initial glimpse that we had from our 3D scans. We can see the Zoroastrian iconography that we first identified. The Zoroastrian iconography is inspired by the state religion of the Sasanian Empire that was centered on modern-day Iran. That includes things like the fire stand and also some of the exotic creatures that we can see that look like leopards and tigers. But what that tells us is that this vessel has traveled thousands of miles to get to Galloway and is very, very far away from where we would expect to find something like this. Further research using scientific techniques has looked at the origins of the silver and the niello inlay on the vessel, and this has allowed us to get even closer to the origin of where this vessel came from. The lead isotope signature of the metals that have made this vessel have been pinpointed to a mine that is in modern-day Iran, so that fits perfectly with our theory that this comes, or was certainly inspired by the iconography of the Sasanian Empire. So people will be able to see this object on display for the very first time in the British Museum's Silk Roads exhibition from the 26th of September.